Elon Musk stood before the judge, who sat high on the bench, peering down at him with a mix of irritation and disbelief. This wasn't your typical courtroom case. Musk was being penalized, not for fraud, not for contempt, but for wearing a modest silver Christian cross around his neck. The cross, though small, was clearly visible over his black t-shirt and had caught the attention of everyone present. To many in the courtroom, the situation seemed absurd. How could someone be fined in a nation founded on liberty for displaying a symbol of personal faith? Yet the judge stood firm. The courtroom's rules, strictly enforced, prohibited any visible religious symbols, regardless of a person's identity or status. "Mr. Musk," the judge began, his tone rigid, "you've violated this court's dress code by wearing that cross. Displays of religious symbols are not allowed here." Musk raised an eyebrow, his voice calm but unmistakably pointed. "So, you're fining me because of my faith?" The room grew quiet, the air heavy with anticipation. Everyone waited for the judge's response. "This is not about your beliefs, Mr. Musk," the judge said coolly. "This is about maintaining the neutrality of this courtroom. You are fined $10,000 for breaching court protocol." For someone with Musk's wealth, the fine was insignificant, but the principle at stake wasn't. Musk never shied away from standing up for his beliefs, especially not when personal freedoms were involved. Instead of accepting the penalty, he did something unexpected. "I'll pay the fine," Musk said slowly. "But first, I have a question." The judge, visibly annoyed, narrowed his eyes. "What is it?" Musk gave a knowing grin, the kind that suggested he saw 10 steps ahead. "Isn't this courtroom still bound by the Constitution of the United States?" Whispers rippled through the crowd. Everyone knew where this was heading, yet no one dared to interrupt. "Of course," the judge replied. "The Constitution is the highest law of the land." "Then explain to me," Musk pressed, "how penalizing me for wearing a cross, an expression of my religious beliefs, doesn't violate my First Amendment rights?" The courtroom shifted. People exchanged glances. Musk had taken the situation and flipped it entirely. The judge, momentarily caught off guard, straightened in his chair. "Mr. Musk, this is a courtroom, not a public square. We have procedures to maintain decorum and impartiality." Musk's expression didn't change. "Impartiality? You're punishing me for expressing my faith. That's not neutrality. That's discrimination." The judge opened his mouth, but Musk wasn't finished. "I'm sure you're familiar with the First Amendment. It guarantees the right to freely practice one's religion. By punishing me for doing just that, you're infringing on the very freedoms this country was built on." The judge looked uncomfortable. Musk wasn't an average citizen arguing his point. He was sharp, composed, and now clearly winning the crowd. "You're distorting the situation," the judge replied, trying to regain control. "This isn't about your religion. It's about maintaining courtroom order." Musk leaned in slightly. "And banning religious symbols in the name of neutrality. Isn't that, in itself, an attack on religious freedom? Telling me to remove my cross isn't staying neutral. It's suppressing my rights." The judge faltered, silent now, unable to provide a response that wouldn't support Musk's argument. The tension was now palpable. Everyone in the room understood this wasn't about a fine anymore. Musk was raising a much larger issue. "Your Honor," Musk continued, his tone unwavering, "if you punish me for this cross, you're setting a dangerous precedent that, in this country, someone can be penalized for practicing their faith." The judge looked around, sensing he was losing control. "This court isn't the place to argue constitutional law, Mr. Musk. Then why am I being punished for exercising a constitutional right?" Musk asked calmly. The silence that followed spoke volumes. Musk had made his point loud and clear. But he wasn't done. "I'll pay the fine," he said, his voice low but resolute. "But I'll be challenging it, and I'll take this fight as far as it needs to go." The judge, clearly outmaneuvered, had no reply. What began as a dress code issue had become a national conversation on constitutional rights. As Musk exited the courtroom, whispers followed him. People knew this was far from over. Musk wasn't just defending himself, he was challenging the entire system. News of the courtroom exchange spread quickly. Social media exploded with debate about religious freedom. Within hours, Musk vs. the system trended nationwide. Many voiced support. "This is America," one commentator said on a major news outlet. "If we can't express our faith freely, what's the point of the First Amendment?" Others disagreed. "Courtrooms have rules," another pundit said. "Musk should follow them like anyone else. Fame doesn't put him above the law." But the narrative had already evolved. It wasn't just about Musk, it was about what the punishment symbolized. The media frenzy intensified. News shows, podcasts, and online debates all circled around one question. Was Musk's fine justified, or was it a violation of his constitutional rights? Musk stayed mostly silent in public, letting the discussion grow on its own. But behind the scenes, he was preparing. This wasn't a battle he intended to lose. His legal team, made up of top-tier constitutional lawyers, quickly got to work. What shocked many, however, was Musk's direct involvement in crafting their legal arguments. Reports began to surface that Musk had helped draft key portions of the legal brief. He wasn't just the client, he was part of the strategy team. Soon, a federal lawsuit was filed challenging the constitutionality of the fine. The argument was simple. By punishing Musk for wearing a cross, the court had violated his First Amendment rights. Legal scholars across the country took notice. Many agreed Musk had a strong case. Others warned of consequences. "If Musk wins," one legal analyst said, "it could lead to chaos in courtrooms across the nation." But Musk remained steadfast. He wasn't doing this for attention or money. He wanted to establish a legal precedent that no court could override a citizen's right to express their faith. As the court date neared, Musk's team submitted a comprehensive legal brief filled with references to past Supreme Court decisions. To everyone's surprise, Musk had written significant parts of it himself. On the day of the hearing, the courtroom overflowed. Reporters, legal experts, and citizens, eager to see history unfold, packed the seats. Musk entered, this time in a sharp suit, the same silver cross still visible on his chest. He looked calm, focused, no longer a defendant. He stood as a plaintiff taking on the very system that tried to silence him. A new judge presided over the case, one prepared for the weight of constitutional scrutiny. Musk's lead attorney began with a powerful opening. "Your Honor, this case isn't about a dress code violation. It's about a fundamental freedom. The lower court violated Mr. Musk's First Amendment rights by fining him for expressing his faith." But the moment everyone was waiting for came when Musk took the stand. "Mr. Musk," the attorney asked, "why did you decide to challenge the fine?" Musk paused. "Because I believe in freedom," he answered firmly. "Not just mine, but everyone's. If we allow courts to penalize people for their beliefs, we're stripping away a piece of what makes us human." The courtroom was still. His words struck a chord. The opposing attorney stood. "Mr. Musk, court rules exist to preserve order and neutrality. Doesn't wearing a religious symbol disrupt that neutrality?" Musk met his gaze. "Neutrality doesn't mean eliminating belief, it means respecting all beliefs. Forcing me to remove my cross didn't create neutrality, it targeted my faith." The judge watched closely, clearly impressed. "But," the opposing lawyer insisted, "rules apply equally to all. If we allow this, where does it end?" Musk replied without hesitation. It ends where the Constitution draws the line. My cross harms no one. It's a personal symbol, an expression of my beliefs. As the arguments continued, Musk remained composed. His presence dominated the room. Then came the turning point. Your Honor, Musk said, rising to address the court. I'm not only asking that my fine be overturned. I'm asking for something greater. I'm asking for a ruling that protects the rights of every American to express their faith in a courtroom. A decision that ensures no one is ever punished for what they believe. The judge stared, visibly moved by the gravity of the request. Musk had turned a minor violation into what could become a landmark constitutional decision.